All right, that's not gonna work.
Okay.
That's a kid.
That is a serious fog machine. Ew.
Oh.
Another.
The most important podcast on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, Denovo Realty Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Tears Over Beers with Ian and Garrett. Ian, pleasure as always.
How you doing?
This is episode number 9.
No, I think it's 11.
11. Yes, episode 11, and this is.
Watch, you're both wrong. It's 10.
This is a spooky edition, as you can see by our foggy office. We had a little fog machine,
Snoop Dogg edition,
and our spider in the background. So today we are going to kind of talk about what we did prior to real estate and how the journey began, which may be helpful for those of you out there thinking about getting into real estate, hearing our wonderful background stories.
Yeah.
So, what are we drinking today, Ian?
We're drinking Citrus Siesta from Cigar City from Tampa. It's delicious.
We should start rating the beers.
I
1 to
rate
10.
I rate this beer 7.8.
7.8? That's
Yep.
pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's a good beer. It's nice.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. So, Ian, what did you do leading up to real estate? What was your What's your job history?
So my start was I was a kid and I got a cell phone and I had a girlfriend
that's
and
exciting.
we texted, and this was when text cost 10 cents a piece. And I didn't really think about it because I was 16 and I racked up the phone bill, so my dad told me I had to go get a job. So I got a job at Publix, bagging groceries. So I worked at Publix for 5 years, and then I quit. Started my life.
Started your life.
I haven't had a boss since I've been self-employed.
What did you do after Publix?
So I quit Publix and I started flipping cars, which was fun.
Interesting.
And it became...
How'd you flip cars onto Publix? You had enough money saved up?
I had a car that I had put together over a long period of time. And I sold it for a good amount of money, and then I used that money to buy a few cars, and then I just did that for a while. It became very not profitable pretty quick after that. So then my friend was like, "Oh, I'm going to go work for my uncle selling insurance." And I was like, "I could probably do that." So I got my license and I went to agent school. And
what kind of insurance?
Life and health insurance.
Life and health. That's a tough.
Senior sales, door to door.
Door to door. Door knocking.
Door knocking.
Oh,
lead
goodness.
following. Like they would send in these cards that was like, send this card in for information about discount on your prescriptions. You know those seniors and their prescriptions. They get expensive. Mm-hmm. So we would just go to their house, knock on the door. We'd have our little spiel, and then we'd try and get inside, and then we would tell them all kinds of other crap. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a very fulfilling job because it kind of just felt like taking money from old people. So
that's not good.
I got a little burnt out working for that company. The uncle of the friend, was a horrible person. He got fired when we left.
Shout out to him.
I actually hired my dad on to work with me there when I worked there, and that guy was so horrible. He said all these awful things I would never repeat. My dad wrote a letter to the corporate office, and they fired him.
Oh.
And I didn't do anything after that. No. So we started our own insurance agency, my dad, my 2 buddies, and I, 3 buddies and I, under one of my dad's friends who was a wealth manager.
Okay.
And then the old company sued us for non-compete, so we had to stop. And then I didn't work for 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, Taylor, for supporting me through that
Shout out.
time.
Wifey.
Thanks, babe.
So 18 months.
18
didn't
months
work.
of not really doing anything. I worked at Mazda for 2 days. That didn't go so well. Selling cars isn't my top choice.
Gotcha. And then what sparked you to get your real estate license?
So Taylor wanted to buy a house. So we had worked with a few agents over that period of time. Mm-hmm. They kept firing us.
I wonder why. You're so easy.
So first Taylor worked with John and Jody Donnelly because David
Are we
works...
supposed to bleep this part out?
No, it's fine. It's not anything on them. David, Taylor's dad, worked with John at Patrick.
Okay.
And then I guess David had been a typical dad. He wanted to do his own inspection, him and his buddy.
Typical dad.
Typical dad stuff. And John really didn't like that, and he was like, no. And then they fired us. And then we worked with a few other people, and they fired us, and then we were at dinner. Because we were only spending like $100K, right? We weren't spending a lot of money, and the market was real crazy in 2015.
Yeah, so how much, let's talk about that. How much was your first house?
127.
127. Mine was 135.
So, right about there.
2011
Okay.
was your year.
2015.
15.
So, we were at dinner one night at Taylor's dad's house with the whole family, and we were like, nobody wants to like help us. And Tara, Taylor's sister, was like, I have a friend who's a real estate agent, and he's really great. You should call him. So we called him, and we just kind of hit it off. And he was like, why don't you get your license, and I'll teach you what to do. And
that was your first mentorship.
That was Chris Register, if you watch these. Yeah, it was great. And then I just kind of rode around in the car with Chris for like a year and learned how to do this, and then kind of took off from there.
How old were you?
25.
25.
2015.
Got your license in 2015.
Yep.
Do you know what year I got my license? Yes.
We talked about it, and then you like didn't use it.
Didn't use it for a couple years. Yeah.
So you got your license in 2011, 2012?
2010.
2010.
November 11th, 2010 was I was officially licensed.
If you could have just waited 1 year, it would have been 11/11/11.
I know, stupid. Gosh. But I saw that memory on my Facebook. Hopefully I can pull up a screenshot of this, because it's like, I made a post. It was like, just got my license. Who wants to buy a house? LOL. Or something like that. Like, I didn't have any intentions of using it when I first got it, because I had just graduated college. I was 21.
You didn't have any intentions on using it?
I didn't have any intentions on using it. I didn't any desire to do real estate at that point in my life.
All right. So let's go back to the beginning for Garrett, because I know you have a kind of all over the place story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went to UCF when I graduated. I got my license because my whole family's in the business. Mom, uncle,
which I feel like a lot of people probably don't know.
Grandmother. Yeah, it's kind of fun because we all have different last names. Yeah, so whole family's in real estate, and I grew up, and the conversation at the dinner table was always about real estate. So I had no desire to do it because it was the family business, and it was just like,
you were just like a rebellious.
I was like, this is like so boring. Like, all you guys talk about is real estate.
And you were like cage fighting people.
So
this is more.
At the time, I was doing MMA. Yeah, and I had dreams of being in the UFC or whatever. So cheers to that. But so I got my license 2010, and then just graduated from college at UCF. I graduated early. I was 21. I had a year credit from high school, and then started working at. I got a job at Patrick Air Force Base as a civilian, actually, and my title was budget analyst.
That sounds thrilling.
Mm-hmm. It was, and
how long did you do that job?
I did that for a year, and the first 3 to 4 months that I worked there, I was always asking for things to do because I did not have anything to do. They were like, you can work on these few things, but it was clearly a position that they kept on to meet their budget so that they got the job. They kept the money for the following year. So the job was like not necessary. They could have offloaded the little amount of work that I did. And at the time I was young and hungry. I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? So I was like to my manager,
why don't you go analyze this budget?
And I was like, all right, I'm done with that. What do you got for me next?
That's literally all we have for this year. We'll see you again in January.
And he would be he would go on and look for something. He's like, why don't you make this course? So I made some courses and stuff, and then I'd be done.
It's all coming together.
And then I was like, all right, what next? And then eventually, after a while, I kind of caught on that there wasn't a lot for me to do. So,
what did you get a degree in?
Business management.
Okay, you left out a big part of college.
Yes, so I got a degree in business management. I always enjoyed business side of I wanted to own a business one day. It was always my thing. and hence
That's weird.
Hence why I'm here
Where
now.
are we
So that was the path. But when I was in college, I didn't have any real
Estate.
direction. I was just I knew I wanted to do something in the business world, but because I couldn't play the guitar or anything cool like that.
But you went to college initially.
It was the
tennis scholarship.
Oh yes, I went and played tennis.
I feel like it's pretty interesting.
I left that part out too. Yeah, I had
another thing a lot of people probably don't know.
I don't know. I played tennis in college yet because.
But you still can't win at ping pong.
So I still can't win at ping pong, unfortunately. But I played tennis in college for an entire whole semester in Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And I was there, and it was November, and I came out of my dorm room, and I slipped in the ice, fell on my ass, slid down this little sidewalk, and I was like, what am I doing?
It's not for me, guys.
What am I doing in Virginia? Because when I got there, everyone's like, where are you from? I was like, I would say Orlando because that was the easiest thing. Or I'd say
Disney World.
Say Orlando, Florida. They're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I don't know, playing tennis. And then so I left that, and then I got into MMA. I went from tennis made me so
aggressive
that I was like, I gotta start doing a fighting sport. And then got into powerlifting.
From the least contact sport to the most contact sport.
I had to get all that aggression out. So so did that. Graduated UCF, started working at Patrick. And while I was at Patrick, and hopefully none of my old managers are watching this, but I started reading a lot of books.
What are they going to do, fire you?
Because I just feel guilty about it now. Because
right.
I got paid well. Right out of college, it was a good college job, solid salary, bunch of benefits. But I was bored.
Main benefit was being able to study for your real estate.
And I did I already had my license at that point, but I started reading about real estate books and stuff for whatever reason. I got curious about it. Then I started asking the fam real estate questions all the time. But anyways, from there I got a job offer because I had worked at a Planet Fitness in Orlando.
I have just a quick question.
Yes.
When you were I'm just going to get my license really quick just because, the rest of my family, why?
It was one of those things that it was sort of at the time, I think it was maybe the thought of a fallback thing. Everyone in my family does real estate. And it was I had just graduated and I was applying for jobs. And I was I'll study to get my real estate license during this point.
My ringer isn't on.
So, I almost broke the rules.
Well, it's on. It's just not making sound. So you studied for real estate.
So got my real estate license, knocked that out, did the 2-week course, left Air Force Base, managed a Planet Fitness.
Managed.
Oh,
I thought you were just the guy scanning passes.
I was the general manager. Someone I knew owned the gym, didn't like their manager. Said, hey, you want to manage this place?
You have a real estate license.
We'll pay you the same amount of money that you're making at the Air Force Base. You'll give you benefits and all that.
Shorted you on that.
That's all right. No, I won't complain about it. So, started working at the gym, managing. That was my first.
Is that empty?
That was my first experience managing people directly, and that was a great experience.
Yeah.
You know some weird things about the gym that you wouldn't think of?
I don't really go to the gym. You guys can't tell.
Well, it's also funny too because Planet Fitness is a very I'm as you know into
you're a meathead,
powerlifting and squatting and deadlifting and all that, and they don't have free weights at the Planet Fitness. So
they don't have them.
I never worked out at Planet Fitness one time.
But you managed it. So you managed it, but had a gym membership to somewhere else.
Yeah, but I always had my home gym.
Oh, you always had your home?
I've had my home gym since 2012.
It's pretty impressive. If anybody knows, we could do the next Tears Over Beers in your garage, and we'll see. We'll see how little I can lift compared to how much you can lift.
That'll be fun. So that was that, and then I had conversations with my family. I wanted to get into real estate, and they were like, "Do it, rip the Band-Aid off."
Mm-hmm.
I had a really good opportunity at the beginning too, because at that time there was a lot of foreclosures going on.
When did you start selling?
2012.
Okay.
I started doing I did a bunch of rentals for the first.
It's good when you're starting out, you can't, we say, you eat some shit, right?
Yeah, you eat lots
you definitely eat a lot of that.
Lots of shit. In the beginning of your real estate career, period, you eat a lot of shit. You learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
People call you dumb.
You get stood up.
You get stood up. You have a lot of like.
You get real excited that somebody's going to buy something, and then they
You
don't.
get brought to reality, like reality hits you hard, like right at the beginning, and it's like it's exciting. It's
Especially
fun to
being a
look
young
back
guy.
on now.
Yeah.
It's not exciting when you're in it because you're like, God.
I feel like
is
it's a little
brutal.
harder for young people to sell real estate, like when you're getting into it, because your family probably doesn't take you seriously. Yours is different because
Mine's different because
yours is
like
all in the business.
and the thing about
So they don't
that
even
that
need you
people
anyways.
think is good is that your whole family's in it, like, which like they can like they can help you out whatever, which is awesome and they do. However, at the same time, any business that you would have gotten from friends of the family or whatever, you already got 6 other people in your family that all do real estate, so you're not getting any like friends of the family that are calling you because they're like, I got 5 other of your family members that I already know. And they're not some 23-year-old punk kid. Cheers to another terrible episode.
Not as funny, but
it was good.
Revealing.
Insightful.
Oh.
Thanks for watching.
Signing off.
Now go!